Hello Void and all who inhabit it. It's me, another longtime player of our favorite sandbox turned millennial simulator game. I promise this isn't turning into a Sims channel, but I've been spending a lot more time playing and investing in this game, so of course, I have more thoughts. On April 6th, if time still means anything to you, Sim Guru Duke tweeted out an infographic that revealed, as vaguely as possible, the development plans for the next 6 months of The Sims 4. Players have 3 new packs, one in each category, to look forward to. Beyond the upcoming community-voted stuff pack focused on knitting, the themes, titles, and release dates have yet to be shared. So, stuff is coming, along with some updates and patches over the next 6 months, and that's about all we know. I thought the announcement was kind of pointless, but that's because I don't frequent Sims Twitter and wasn't aware that players straight up harass the Sims gurus for new content and packs. I was talking with a friend who shared both this infographic and some insight into Sims Twitter, sharing theories on what we thought the new packs might be, and our conversation steered towards critiquing the game as a whole, which I think it's physically impossible at this point to not talk about The Sims 4 without on some aspect of development. Regardless, I realized why we always will come back to the negative aspects of this game. The fundamental flaw of The Sims 4 is that the gameplay is boring. The cast, beautiful, stunning, missing hair physics, but a big upgrade still. The buy build mode, amazing, never been done before, but the gameplay?
Nothing new, nothing changed, same old shit.
I think a lot of Simmers now are dependent on packs for innovative and interesting gameplay, but that excitement that they'll get from the new packs is temporary, because the foundation of the game, the Sims' personalities and interactions, is ashy. At times, The Sims 4 feels like a glorified 3D version of the game of life, with fixed and limited paths. Even with new mechanics to construct the worlds in Sims, the actual activity within it is dull. This further affects the weakest point of The Sims 4 replay value, its potential for story construction. A lot of people who invest in The Sims do so to tell stories, which means being invested in the world you're building, but also in the characters of that world. Take The Sims 2, for example. For every pre-made house, at least in the base game, when you first enter, immediately something is going down. There's a party, a fight, an affair, someone's dying. The game is solidifying the household biographies as more than just a paragraph, that these pre-made relationships actually matter to gameplay, and letting you, the player, know that your control is not unlimited or without consequence. The Pleasant family is a perfect example. A choice card pops up very early in gameplay, and regardless of your decision, Mary Sue gets fired and arrives home early where Daniel is probably cheating. The Sims 2 set up the dynamics between the Sims and a household, often dramatically, and then left the player to figure out what they wanted to do with that. I think Nancy Landgrab and Judith Ward being pregnant are the closest The Sims 4 gets to this. But story is also built by having dynamic gameplay beyond the initial drama. Again, looking at The Sims 2, before moodlets, Sims had an aspiration bar impacted by the fulfillment of their wants and fears. Sims had fears, and if their aspiration bar was too low, that could impact how they grew up or how they could even function. There was also a memory bank that was so helpful with keeping track of who a romance sim had woohooed with. Please bring that back. And, most notably, exaggerated reactions. The Sims 3 introduced traits and moodlets, but the differences between them and those in The Sims 4 is stark at times. I'm gonna link a video Carl's Sim Guide recently released where he briefly compared the differences in the number of traits, but something he said in that video that's been repeated again and again in the Sims community is that The Sims 3 traits and moodlets significantly impacted gameplay. Beyond Sim interactions, Sims needs, skill building, even pregnancies could be affected by a trait, a moodlet, or both. In both Sims 2 and 3, Sims had to show emotion because the UI wasn't just telling players what they felt. This made for more reactions that allowed players more flexibility to build the stories that they wanted. Early Sims 4 marketing used the phrase, "they're so smart it's weird," and put heavy emphasis on the emotion system, but that system has forever been flawed. initially being too volatile and now being too skewed towards always being happy. The buffs on positive moodlets are often stronger than negative ones created by the environment or your Sim's traits. For Sims meant to be so emotionally intelligent it would lead to more outlandish gameplay, they're pretty flat. And while that could be addressed in new packs with the introduction of new traits and interactions, the personality system and reactions of Sims at a base game level have to be overhauled to improve the longevity of the game. There's no reason you should have to depend on additional paid content to make a game interesting. If you made it to the end, thank you for making it to the end. We're pretty short today. I hope you're all doing well and not getting too lost in the timeless fog that is self-isolation. I'm trying to engage in more content than just CC shopping, but it's so tempting to just download a bunch of stuff. Hopefully I find something good because I'm still trying to upload next week and to get back to having excruciatingly long videos. Until then, stay safe. I'll see you in the next echo chamber.